Friend, let's talk people pleasing because this is not just one of those habits that you could just quit cold turkey. You got to really get underneath the hood and understand why you're people pleasing in the first place, especially when you know better. And listen, again, no shade, no shame, and no judgment in this zone. We are not here to give you or any of us a hard time, okay, myself included, because as a reformed people pleaser, yes, that was me. You have to understand what it is really going on because it really isn't about pleasing other people. It's really about protecting something within you. People pleasing is a safety mechanism. It's something that you are using to protect and keep you safe. So, do you know what it is within you that you're really protecting here? Let's get into it. People pleasing is not a weakness. It's just a pattern that you learned to keep yourself safe. And it isn't just about safety here. Because don't get me wrong, if you're a people pleaser, you probably hate conflict and you want to avoid it at all costs. But people pleasing also kept you loved because the more that you were doing for someone else, it seemed that you were getting love or attention in return. It meant that it kept things easy for you and for them. So it seemed like a win win scenario. But what is really, really happening is when you decide to place somebody else's comfort above your own, it means that you've now abandoned yourself. You have not decided that you receiving love is top priority, especially the kind of love that you deeply crave. Because so often you are still yearning for something, even within the connections that you have. You just decided that settling for something was better than having nothing. And the devastating truth that we often don't want to admit is if we're not performing and pleasing everybody else, we're afraid that they're not going to want to be around. We're afraid that if we pull back our resources or pull back our time, effort, and energy, that they won't decide to stick around. And that is a real fear. And I want to really just hold some space and recognize that if that is where you feel like you are in some of your most pivotal relationships in your life, the ones that you hold so near and dear to you. But, friend, I have to ask you if you're not being honest about what you really need and having your needs met, is this really the kind of love that you want to continue to receive? Is this really even love? Got to ask the questions. I know it can feel terrifying to no longer be the version of yourself that just allows you to be treated any old kind of way in exchange for people just simply being around. But it's really not worth it, especially if you have people around you and still feel alone. That's not really the connection that you want to be having. And you don't also want to do it at the expense of yourself. Because when you're telling other people, in words or not, that your needs don't matter, guess who you're also telling that to? You. And you start to believe it, even if no words are ever spoken. You know the truth. And the goal isn't to just cut off everybody and have brand new relationships with people. That's not it. But it does beg to ask, is it time for you to stop being this person that you just no longer are and really start being who it is that you really know yourself to be? Because there is a version of you that isn't people pleasing. There is a version of you that is strong enough to shift in this dynamic. And maybe that shift does require you to move on without this relationship. But knowing that, if that really is the case, it means that you're opening up the window. You are opening up the door for brand new relationships in your life, the ones that will see you for who you are, the ones that will love you for who you are and not for what you can give them. So, friend, I know that it's super scary to want to really put your true self out there and really be seen, but that is exactly what is required when you want to have those deep, meaningful, connected relationships that you crave. It does require you to show up as yourself and be willing to be seen in all of your glory and really standing up for yourself and the things that are important to you. And that includes the way that you see yourself and the way that you love yourself and the way that you honor who you are. Because every single time you honor yourself, you're teaching yourself that you're valuable, you're worthy, and you matter. Usually that's where so much unworthiness comes from. It's because you know that you haven't been in alignment with the best of who you are. Maybe you haven't been expressing your needs. And if you have and they've fallen on deaf ears, then you haven't taken the proper steps to minimize that access to you, to go and seek that type of connection elsewhere. Because, friend, you are teaching yourself every time you make a choice to stay, you're teaching yourself that what you need isn't important. But when you do decide to declare that, you know what? I really am going to have the connection that I really want. I really am going to honor myself and what I need. And maybe that does mean I need to shift into a new relationship. And I really think that it's so important, friend, that you do decide what is best for you, that you're having the open dialogue, you're having the communication, you're giving someone an opportunity to meet you at your level of need. And if they are not able to do that, then you loving yourself enough to choose to do what is best for you, because that's how you build self-trust. That's how you show yourself your level of self-love. And that's how you open the door for people to meet you there, not in the people pleasing, but in pleasing you as a priority. Ooh, friend, so good. Let me get you your journal prompt. Okay, who am I people pleasing for? And what version of myself am I trying to protect by doing it? Now, friend, this is the straight up no chaser. Be honest with yourself. Really give yourself the time and the space to explore. And remember, no shade, no shame, and no judgment. Do not give yourself a hard time as you are doing this journaling exercise. This is to increase your awareness. This is to understand how this is really showing up for you. And it's then gives you an opportunity to decide from that place of awareness and you choosing to stand in your self love, you choosing to take the next best step from that place. Okay, friend? Make sure you are subscribed because we are having these kind of conversations every single day, friend. I'm making a video for you on the daily, okay? And meet me in the comments. I want you to finish this sentence. Tell me the person or situation I keep saying yes to when I mean no is. Fill me in, friend. Let's talk about it. Let's continue the conversation in the comments, friend. I can't wait to hear from you. And let's work something out. You know what I mean? Like we can we can acknowledge, friend. I'm telling you, taking that first step just to acknowledge something and bring it out of the darkness into the light, that is such a transformational step, friend. So let's take that step together. Meet me in the comments. I can't wait to support you there. And I will see you in the next video.